Welcome to the Power System series. This video is the second of the three main parts of the series, the packaging of your power system. The three parts of packaging I've made up for you are jargon, themes, and agency. Jargon because the concepts of your power system need to be named, like how scientists name any new concept to make expanding on them easier. Themes because your power system is just a tool to your characters, nothing more than a weapon or some extra laws of physics. How your characters incorporate it is what interests you, so you should set in advance the values behind your power system that dictate who can make the most progress and who fails. And agency because just how much impact does your power system have on your story? Does everything revolve around acquiring titans like in Attack on Titan, or does everyone have chakra and they use it to get what they actually want? The first part of packaging your power system, jargon. Jargon is how we refer to stuff in your power system without going mad. The concepts and stuff of your power system need to have names. It is very important that they have names because not only is it how the audience makes sense of it, but it's also how the characters in your story would communicate to each other. Your power system is part of the science in the world, and what do scientists do? Give names for things and concepts so we don't have to keep saying the magic force that keeps us on Earth when we want to just talk about gravity. Jargon is how you teach us about your power system. But don't just teach us. If you explain your power system to us, we might get annoyed. We hated learning things at school, so why would we read your manga or book so you can do to us what school did to us? The kids that enjoyed school and did well in school were the kids who cared about the subject. That's where you find the theorists and analyzers who learn about the whole science behind bending and subcategories of bending. But this is a story, so even the regular readers need to be in the loop. And that's why most protagonists are newbies. We care about the character, and that translates to us caring about the power system. But you don't always have to make a newbie protagonist, You can just have different people having to learn different things from other people, and that's how you teach us about your power system. Just like how your characters have a growth curve in terms of their power, there should be a growth curve in terms of the knowledge of the science behind your system. Make sure the concepts and stuff have names attached to them and we become familiar with them before you teach us something else. You can't teach us calculus if we don't know algebra. Separate your info dump between introduction and expansion. Introduce a concept and then expand on it. That's the general pattern. Like and subscribe. The second part of packaging, the themes. The two things you are using your themes for are to portray character values and apply character development. Based on the things that back your power system, the values your character bring to the table in a fight can dictate how well they do, rather than just how strong they are. In Death Note, the theme is justice, and using the Death Note is literally dooming yourself to an empty afterlife because cutting a life short before its lifespan is the ultimate injustice. The theme behind Devil Fruits in One Piece is dreams, and that's why Luffy's growth is so prominent. The more you believe in your dreams, the further you can take your fruits. That's why Kaido got as far as he could, and that's why Luffy could go further than him. But my favorite evidence for this is Rob Lucci, in particular because he was undefeated. He had no imagination and really couldn't imagine himself losing. As powerful as he was pre-time skip, he could not awaken his fruit, but after losing to Luffy, he comes back in CP0 having awoken his fruit. Luffy shattered his thought that he is the pinnacle, and that allowed him to grow. I mean, how can you grow past your ceiling if you think you've reached your ceiling? Once you think you've made it, you stop dreaming, and your devil fruit won't grow. So give your power system a theme, and the character's values will be revealed, and we'd see which values are stronger than which when the values collide in battle. Likewise, themes can be used for character development. Luffy had a dream pre-time skip, but he hadn't really suffered enough of a loss to see how important his dream really was. Ace's death was what triggered the most growth from him. Ace being executed merely for being born, and Luffy wanting to bring freedom to everyone so they can live, having given the Straw Hats reason to keep living the life they want. He loses his brother and that propels him to grow. It shows his true resilience when he comes back stronger instead of just giving up. Because resilience is the most important trait that is needed to achieve your dream. And the thought that everything will just work out is a downfall if you don't do the necessary work to go up against admirals. That failure allowed him to filter out that thought and gave rise to Gear 4, the culmination of his resilience, imagination, and hard work. Use your themes to show how your character's values progress and what they need to overcome in order to get closer to their goal. Vegeta became a Super Saiyan after all them S cells because his rage needed to come from the need to protect rather than to conquer. Rage wasn't the problem. The reason for his rage was what needed to change. Light kept slipping every time he tried to work with other people in Death Note until that led to his downfall. If a character fails to overcome a certain pitfall, then show us their downfall. Kaido wanted to be Joy Boy so bad that he forced people to smile while taking away their freedom. Of course he would lose to Luffy, who brings smiles and freedom naturally. But the real character development was in Luffy. In Along Park, he helped Nami without hearing about the history in the village. But in Wano, he tried that nonsense and got demolished. He came back knowing the history and had grown enough to win. In fact, he almost lost but his fruits awakened, because this time he knew the stakes. You can't chase a dream effectively while covering your eyes to the stakes. Resilience isn't just never giving up. Resilience is knowing the stakes and still pushing forward, still risking it all. That's what it truly takes to be resilient. The third part of packaging, the agency. The three things you need to know are the character power system dynamic, the setting power system dynamic, and the plot power system dynamic. Character power system dynamic is how important the power system is to how you show characters. Think about money. You see people's true character when they have money. It's the same with the power system. What people are willing to do to get power. What people who have power are willing to do with that power. What people think about those who with power. What people with power think about themselves. You could say money is our power system in the real world. This depends on your power distribution, of course. If there is an oversaturation of power in your world, then some of these questions disappear. What people think about those with power stops mattering as much if they all have power as well. And what they think about themselves starts to matter more. Just think about how the Mali fellas hated people from the island of Paradis because of their ability to become titans and ruin them. They didn't think about how pirates are all just chasing their own dreams and don't really care what anyone else thinks. The setting power system dynamic is how much of the power system is a part of the world. It's politics, it's economy. Regular people in Hunter x Hunter don't know about Nen, but in Black Clover, magic users are the regular people. Knowing this in advance can dictate how different people react to events in your story. If regular people aren't in the know, then these things would have to have weird explanations or whatever. And at some point, we stop even caring about the regular population. And if everyone is in the know, now you have to worry about how the power system is incorporated in the system of your world, law enforcement, all that jazz. Just pick your battles wisely. Plot power system dynamic is the most important part of the agency part of the packaging. How does the power system fit into the story you are telling? Is everyone trying to attain the power? Or is everyone using the power to try and attain their own goals? Or is the goal to eradicate the power? Is the power even the only way to make progress in the story? And so forth. This part was about the back end of your power system, the writer's notes. Stick around for part 3 where we will talk about the front end, the portrayal, or rather the execution of writing using your power system in your story.